Hey friends, it's Angela with Wild Violets Art. Thank you so much for joining me for a marvelous Monday. Gotta make Mondays good for something. We are almost at Thanksgiving, so this is going to be a short week for all of us, especially me. I'm only working today and tomorrow. Tonight I'm going to bring you how to make a gift bag out of a 12 by 12 cardstock. So as you can tell, this one I think I showed you as a cute little bag. It has two special oils in it, like this is a dipping sauce and just a plain olive oil. So you can see that the bag can fit quite a bit. So it measures, let me get my, so it measures 8 inches by 3.5 or 3 3/4 inches by 2 inches. So I think that it's a great size. And if you have lotions or you have something else that's tall, it works great for those things. So, um, all right. So before we get into that, I just wanted to show you one product from the upcoming spring to mini catalog. So let's change the view. Okay, so this is the Stippled Roses, and it starts in January. And as you recall, January through February is celebration. So this Stippled Roses set with the beautiful roses and really beautiful fonts. I mean, take a look at that. Happy Mother's Day, best birthday wishes, congratulations, sending thanks. I love these fonts. They're so beautiful. And I love it when they have more than one type of font in a verse. And then with it come dies that outline the different stamps, but also there's some foliage that can be die cut as well. So from Celebration, though, is this free softly stippled 12 by 12 cardstock. And let me just show it to you real quick. It's just really pretty. It'll be great for spring cards or gifts. I think this will be a great wedding or, even a Mother's Day or just a general greeting. So these are the colors that, or the cardstock. And then on the opposite side are just some plain, looks like some sort, either like a gesso. This looks like a nice weave. Another like a linen weave. This one looks like another just a weave, and then some gesso or like a paint. So really beautiful, and either side can be used. Okay, so let me just show you this gift bag again on a larger scale. I'm sorry, I only had the smaller version here. Let me see if I can get my, there you go. Hopefully that gives you a better view. Um, okay, so as you can see, this bag is 8 inches, and I have a couple of specialty oils in it. Obviously, you can just put one of them in there, but it has lots of room for some gifts. So really, really a cute bag. And I'm using this sweet little shining Christmas 12 by 12 specialty. And as you can see, it's got a shimmer to it, or not a shimmer, but a shine. So the fronts have a really pretty, um, oh, what's the term? Anyway, it's shiny. So we're going to use this one tonight. And as you can tell, it's got that shine to it. But on the back side, it's just a matte polka dot paper. Isn't that adorable? So as much as I love the shine, I really love the polka dot. So I'm going to make the primary bag the polka dot, and then I'm going to fold it over so you see this cute trim. So the polka dots are just adorable. Okay, so these are the measurements of the bag, and I've drawn this on a 12 by 12 and I still don't see that you guys can see this well enough. So let me see if I can get more of the paper. Okay, so I have all the measurements up here, and actually, let me just move this over here so you can see. Okay, so as you can see, 3 3/4 and then 1 inch and 1 inch. So it'd be 3 3/4, 4 3/4, 5 3/4. And then this is at 9.5 and then 10.5 and 11.5. So I'm doing 3 3/4 front, 2 inches deep, 3 3/4 back, 2 inches deep. And then I have a little 1/2 inch left over that I'm going to use to adhere it. And then down below, I've got a 2 inch score line here that's going to be folded over, and then a 10 inch or 2 inch from the bottom score line that I'm going to use for the bottom flaps. So you can see where I'm going to cut it out. I'm just going to go straight up and down here and then at an angle for the side flaps. And then this portion right here, I'm going to cut it away at an angle because I don't need this portion. So everywhere where there's cross hatching, I don't need that. Okay, so this is available in a PDF, and I'll put the link in my on my page so that you can see how to use it. Okay, so this is Stampin' Up's scoring board. And the nice thing about it, it has these little markers that can move. And so what I can do is I can just place them wherever I need to. And I have it placed at 3 3/4, 4 3/4, and 5 3/4 so that I can remember where I'm going to be scoring it. And then I'm going to refer to this as a reminder of where the next ones are, because it only has 3. I wish they had extras, but let me just angle my camera again so you can see what I'm looking at. Okay, so it comes with a stylus, and the stylus has 2 ends. It has a fat end and it has a smaller end. I'm going to use the fat end because I don't want this paper to be cut. In other words, when I score it, I don't want it to tear. And so, all right, let's start here. Now, the best way when scoring is to just go straight down, and I'm pressing down in these little grooves. Super handy to be able to do big projects like this. You can use your cutting score tool. Let me just show you. So you can use this portion of your scoring on your cutter if you want, and it will work as well. It's just a little bit harder because you have to use this long arm and you have to keep track of the distances or the measurements over here. So I think this is the best way. Okay, so 3 3/4, 4 3/4, 5 3/4, then at 9.5, 10.5, and 11.5. And it leaves a 1/2 inch putting it together. Okay, so now the bottom, I want it scored at 2 inches. Now the top, I'm going to score on this side because this is the side that I'm going to be folding over. And whichever way you're going to be folding, that's the side you want to score. So this side, I'm going to go 2 inches. And that is going to be the top. So hopefully you can see where these score marks are. Okay, so just as a reminder, I did 2 inches from the top and then 2 inches from the bottom for the bag. Now, if for some reason you want it to be more square and not as wide and shallow, you can go 3 inches and then 1.5. You may need to do a little bit less than that because you have to always figure on like a 1/2 inch. So take your 1/2 inch part that you have to overlap and then divide out the remaining amount. So it comes into kind of a funky number, but you can make it so that it's like 3 inches, and then whatever you need it to be here, and then 3 inches, and then it'll end up more of a square bag. So, okay. So now that we're done with the scoring, I'm going to use my bone folder. Okay, so this is going to be the top, and I'm folding it, oops, this way. Here we go. So the reason I am doing it on the top at first, because I want this to be folded together. Okay, so then I'm going to fold all these parts together. So this is going to be where I don't need to do the one in the middle of the side. That's just so that when you want to, you can pinch it. Like with this bag here, see, I have the sides kind of pinched so that if I need to, I can fold it up and store it flat. Okay. So right now I'm just folding it at the major score marks, not at every little fold. And I'm making sure that my top lines up. Okay. And then raising the bottom. Okay. So I'm going to glue this down. You don't have to, but it'll go together a little bit better. And I'm just going to use some tear and tape. And I'm just going to adhere it in a couple of places. Well, one of the places is here because when I put this bag together, I don't want, hey, Debbie, thanks for joining me. I'm going to put this on YouTube, so in case you missed anything, you'll be able to watch it later. Okay, so I'm just gluing this down. I just put a little tear and tape in a couple of places. So I put it on this little flap that I'm going to be using to cut or to put it together with. Okay, so where I'm going to cut, and I'm just going to put this template underneath so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm going to cut here and then an angle here and then an angle. So straight up and down on the two front and back flaps and at an angle for the little side flaps. So I'm going to go straight up to the score line, and then I'm going to cut a little angle out. That way the front and the back flaps are straight up and down, and then these little end flaps are at an angle. And then this one at the end, I'm going to cut it at an angle here and an angle there. That way it doesn't get in the way when I'm putting it together. Okay, now the best way to put a bag together and not get it all wonky is to fold it and put it together so that it lies flat. You see what I'm doing here? I'm gonna fold it this way so that it lies flat, and these, and I'm gonna put them together here on this little tab. Okay. Yeah, this is a great way to use your 12 by 12 paper, and I love it because it just makes really nice gift bags that are so beautiful and individual, and you don't have to run by Walmart or Target and try to find a last minute Christmas bag. So use up all that Christmas DSP that way. Okay, so again, I'm folding it so that it's laying flat and putting it together, making sure that the top is lined up. Okay, So you can see how I put that together. And that way I know that my bag is going to be straight. Okay, so I'm going to have this one as my front, and the side that, or let's see, where's the seam? See, it looks so nice that you don't even see where the seam is. Okay, so this is the seam. Okay, so this is the back. So on the inside of this one, I need another piece of tear and tape. And then I'm going to need a little bit of tear and tape on the outside of this one. And then I'll need a little tear and tape on the outside of this one as well. And then I can put a little bit more on the outside of this one. So anywhere where it's on the outside, it gets tucked in. If it's on the inside, then that's where it's going to go and cover it all. Okay? All right, so now I'm just going to take off the tear and tape. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that it's lined up. And so you can see how I'm putting this together. I want it to be square. And okay, and then I need this last piece of tear and tape coming off so I can put it all together. So I'm lining up these. Got a little tiny bit of tear and tape sticking out. Okay, and then with something long like a ruler, or you can just go down inside and kind of push all the adhesive together. You can use glue if you want to, but tear and tape seems to be a whole lot less messy. Okay, so do you remember that I had the score mark in between? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that in and I'm going to squeeze it so that I can punch holes for my ribbon to go in. Now I want my holes to be in a little bit further than 1 inch, and I want them to be about 1 inch from the top. So if you need to, get yourself a ruler and just mark it. So it's 3.5 inches or 3 3/4 inches wide. So what I'll do is I'll just center that. And then I need to go more than 1 inch in. So I'm going in more than 1 inch in. And then it's about 1 inch from the top. Okay. I know you can't see my holes very well. Now this is the best hole puncher for really big projects. And I wish Stampin' Up sold it as well, but they don't. But you can get these at Michael's or Joann or Hobby Lobby. So I'm making sure that my hole's not going to punch holes in my bag edge. And I'm going to use the 3/8. Let's see, no, I think this is just 1/8 inch. And I think that's the best size. Yeah, it's 1/8 inch hole, because then the ribbon, it doesn't matter if you have smaller ribbon or if you have bigger ribbon, your knot won't pull out. Okay. Need to be able to see my little mark. Oops, wrong place. Okay, so now you can see I've got holes on the front and the back. Thanks, Arlene. Yes, it is. I love our designer series paper because it's two-sided, and so it's fabulous for these bags. And I love the polka dots. So stinking cute. Okay. So I'm going to use some ribbon, and this is the herringbone ribbon in basic white. And I think I need about 8 inches for each side. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I might need a little bit more because this is pretty big. So I think I'm going to just cut it into 10-inch lengths. And I'm going to have 2 of those. Okay, so take one of your pointed ends, hold it over, and then slip it right into your hole. Have a pair of tweezers, that works really well. Okay, I'm going to pull it through and I'm going to tie a knot. And this is big enough ribbon that I only need the one knot. So those of you that are joining me a little bit late, I'm going to have this put on YouTube, but it also, the instructions for the size of this bag is also available in PDF. It was for my class that I had this month. So I don't have any more of the kits, but I do have the PDF tutorial available, and I will provide that link after later tonight or tomorrow morning. Okay. So you can make it a little bit longer if you want. Maybe 12 inches would have been better because the knot takes up so much of the ribbon. But I think this is a pretty good size for just a small little bag. So again, I'm using my little sharp nose tweezers to get the ribbon through, and it works really fast that way. And then tying it into a knot, trying to get the knot down to the end as close as possible because I want as much of a handle as possible. And one more time. It's supposed to be getting down into the teens for us later this week, but we're going to be in Washington, so I think we're going to miss the really, well, maybe not miss it. We'll come back to really cold weather. So I think that we probably won't have any more 60-degree days, but we'll see. We've had a couple of Indian summers. We've had snow on Halloween. It's been kind of crazy. Okay, so here is the back of the bag. Here's the front of the bag. So this is the fun part. So now we get to decorate. So I made this cute little tag. I used our tailor-made label or tag dies. And then I just had scraps. And then I did cut out a little tiny bit of the DSP, the designer series paper, and added an embellishment. I used the Hope and Peace stamp set, so with love and hope. Um, so it's Christmassy, kind of has the cute, I mean, literally, these were just scraps. This was a scrap. Did have to punch this one, but the label was the only thing, or the tag was the only thing I had to cut out. So just super easy, you know, find your scraps, use them up. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna put a bow here. What did I do with my ribbon? Here we go. So I'm gonna use about 16 inches of this ribbon. So I have a really nice big fluffy bow. And I'm gonna put a bow here on this handle. you remember my video from last week, this was something that I had showed you how to do, and I got this tail just a little bit too long. I want it to be, there we go. Okay, so I'm looping it over and around, under, and there's my bow. And then I just adjust it as I need to, so it's the perfect size. Now, one of my little tricks that I do is, you know how your little handles are constantly falling down all the time? What I do is I'll put a little glue dot, but first I need to add my tag. And so I'm gonna tie another bow to add my tag. This is the gold and silver elegant trim. So this is in silver. And I'm gonna move the little bow to the front. Okay, and then I'm gonna use glue dots to hold up my ribbon. And then my bag handles will stay up. You don't have to, but when you're putting it next to the Christmas tree, it's just nice if these don't come down. So let me just fix this back one. Add a cute little gift bag. And then if you want to, you can add a dimensional on the back of this to kind of hold it in place. But if not, if you want to be able to write on the back of it, you can. And I actually, this sample right here was made from the back of the Sun Prints or one of the designer series paper, the backing. I don't throw those away. I'm a bit of a hoarder, but it makes for great boxes and it makes for great templates. So once you get a template figured out, you know, you can just store it away and then refer to it back for next Christmas. So I've got a couple more that I'm going to show you that I'm going to show you in the upcoming weeks. So here's a cute little box that I made. Again, I used the designer series paper cardboard because it makes for such a nice sturdy box that I can use year in, year out, or when you hand it to somebody, it doesn't fall apart. But I did use the same designer series paper for the top. Isn't that cute? So I'll show you that next Monday. And then the week after that, I'll show you how to make this bigger bag. So this bag is, let me get my measuring tape out. This takes 2 pieces of designer series paper, and it is 8 inches by 3.5, and then it's looks like it's 9 inches tall. And because this paper didn't have anything pretty on the inside, I just used a 2-inch strip of this sparkly adhesive specialty paper. Isn't that beautiful? And again, just ribbons and bows and a cute little tag. So anyway, I'll show you how to make this. We'll make this one with the Traditions of Saint Nick paper. We'll make this bag with a different bag. So that's all I have for tonight. Be sure to join me again next Monday. I'm not having a Friday get together this Friday because it's going to be Thanksgiving. So I'm going to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you on the 27th of November. Have a great night. Again, this is Angela with Wild Pilots Art. I'll have this on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and share and subscribe. Thanks so much.